Hey everybody.
You guys have a question for you. If the ship was sinking, would your followers and your audience stick around to find out if you made it? Or
Would they even know you were on the ship?
Yep, or would they even know if you're on the ship? Okay, you guys, we're talking about this today, and it is kind of fun to think about a ship sinking, because how many times in your entrepreneurial journey do you feel like your ship is like barely above the waterline? Okay, and it's very common thing to feel this way, especially on social media. Things change so fast. The platforms are all consistently and continually evolving with what they want, what they give preference, with the algorithm, all the things. Okay, so if things are moving so quickly and there's so much noise, how do you actually grab your audience's attention? How do you keep them like literally hanging on? I want to find out what's going on here. I can't miss the next training. I cannot wait to get the email. I can't wait for them to do their next post because it speaks to me. How do you get that type of connection with your audience?
All about influence.
Okay. Yes.
Influence is the key. You want that know, like, and trust with people.
Yes.
You want that influence over people, whether it's because they find you edutaining, okay? They find your content entertaining, or it's educational, okay? Well, or it's both, like I said, edutaining. It's educational, okay?
Yes. And I want to talk about edutaining real quick, because right now there is a huge trend, okay? When we talk about marketing, there are a lot of different components that go into it. Part of it is trending, and that's more tactical as far as the things that you can actually use right now that are super powerful. But the fundamentals, which we're going to be talking about, two of the fundamentals right now, are across the board. Doesn't matter which tactic you're using. TikTok is a great example, though, of edutainment. Okay,
true.
Fun videos, short clips, put with music. People on Instagram and Facebook love them because it's a fun way to get entertained, because people are doing all sorts of things that are a little off the wall. But typically, the ones that are doing it very effectively have a very solid marketing message behind it, And the purpose behind using TikTok is because people are like, who are they? Oh my gosh, I can't believe they did that. I need to see what their next video is, because it's educational and it's very entertaining.
Grabs their attention.
It is a interrupter in the newsfeed because it's different than a normal infographic or just a live video or anything else. Now, I'm not saying run out and start doing TikToks. That's not what I'm getting at. But what I'm getting at is the principle behind it. Okay, the principle is grabbing somebody's attention, educating them, and also entertaining them in an effective way. Okay, because as Tim mentioned, it's influence. Influence is necessary to get anybody to either join your team or buy a product. And this is for any brick and mortar store or any online digital type business. Those are fundamental keys.
Right. It's about the experience that they have with you. Okay. If you think about the people that you follow, the people that you're excited to see their next video.
Oh my gosh, they're live again. I can't wait.
Oh my goodness. What do they have going on? What are they doing now? Okay. Those people, if you think about the people that you follow, what is it about them that makes you keep coming back for more? You're aware of their ship, what they're doing, how their ship is floating in the ocean. Okay, and if it went down, you'd be well aware that it's not there anymore.
And how would it be to have an audience that was that engaged with you? Okay, how would that feel to know that people were tuning in and they actually relied on you to be there? Okay, so we're going to be talking about two things that you must do to create influence and build a successful, brand, an online brand specifically, because the online climate changes so rapidly. These type of pieces that we're going to be talking about, these top two, are going to be really important for the foundational pieces of your brand. It's what's going to let people know that you have a ship, or you're on a ship, and the ship may be in the Bermuda Triangle. They don't know where the ship is, but it's going to key them into you, and they're going to want to be around you and influenced by you and be within your realm of reach with social media and potentially offline, depending what type of product or service that you're working with. So the number one that you need to do is, what might it be? You guys
it's being consistent. Pause there, awkward. Anyway, you guys, you need to be consistent. How come?
Well, let me ask you this. Your best friends, do you just talk to them once every 4 years? Or do you consistently have some sort of interaction with them? Do you check in? Maybe it is once a month. I've got some friends that we check in once a month and it's like no time's ever passed.
Maybe it's once a week.
Maybe it's once a week.
Regardless, you're still consistent. Whether it's once a month, once a week, whatever that is for you and whatever your ship can handle, be consistent for your audience.
Yes.
Your audience will get used to seeing you once a month, once a week. Okay.
Once a day.
They'll look forward to it. Whatever your consistency is, make it consistent.
Yes.
Because if you're all over the map, if your ship is going down, spinning, or whatever it might be, and it's not consistent, your audience is not going to know when you're around. They're not going to look forward to it. They're going to be confused, and they're going to lose their attention. Okay. They're not going to keep coming back.
They're going to find out where somebody else's ship is and what they've got going on over on the party barge.
Yep.
And they're going to forget about the yacht that is swimming around in the Bermuda Triangle because they didn't know what was going on. Okay. Time passes so fast. Things change so quickly that being consistent, whatever that means for you and what you, again, as Tim mentioned, what you can be reasonably consistent with, okay, depending on your circumstances, is the key piece.
Yes.
Okay. And it's also not only it's consistency, but it's also where you're consistent. Okay, there's a lot of people who are building on multiple platforms. You may also have like an email list, or you may be doing blogs. It's about what's reasonable for those each individual pieces in a consistent manner.
Yes.
Okay, because again, if you truly care about your audience, we talked about this in another training, and if you're thinking about them as a person and not just a number, you're going to be more apt to show up consistently because you're thinking about how you can actually increase the quality of their life. Okay. If you care about somebody, you're going to check in. You're going to, find out what you can do to help, and you're going to be consistent in that effort to help them. Okay. So consistency comes really like the core driver for consistency a lot of times can come from how you want to serve your audience. Okay. And if there's confusion there and all those pieces, this will, again, it can be another training that we can go deeper in this. It's a lot easier to get sidelined if you don't have that clarity on who you're serving and how you want to serve them.
Yep.
Once you have that, it's a lot easier to be consistent because you're thinking about the person, not just the number. You're not just doing the task because you have to do the task. You're doing it because you truly want to serve and have an impact in somebody else's life. Okay, so number one is to be consistent.
Yes.
Figure out what consistency looks like for you, what's reasonable for you to do, and then stick with it. Okay, and when we say stick with it, testing it out to see if it really works for you, 30, 60 days before you really get a feel if that flow is going to work for you. Sometimes, depending on the task, it can be broken down maybe, 2 weeks, but you've got to give it more than just one shot to see, right? Consistency is not one time. It's repeated over and over and over again. Okay.
Yep.
So number two, then, if that's number one, number two is create quality, engaging content.
Yes.
Okay. Again, we're thinking about a person who's not just a heart, like, thumbs up, or a random comment. This is a person that has a heart and a soul, who has a life, who's going through stuff, who's attempting to create things, who's attempting to make a more effective life for their family and themselves, most likely. Yep. Okay, so being able to create engaging quality content. Engaging content is not just an infographic that teaches something, okay, or a funny meme video or a TikTok video. Engaging and quality content actually shows who you are as well. It's letting them into your life a little bit, giving them the behind the scenes of what it looks like to do a specific task, okay, and then asking them a question.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, like today, example, you guys, I was putting the dishes away, literally. I was putting the dishes away today out of the dishwasher, and we have these beautiful bowls. Okay. They're forest green around the rim. And I have been thinking for years, man, these are gorgeous. And if I accidentally do something and I break this thing, I'm going to be ticked.
Yep.
Okay. And truthfully, when the girls were still here, I was thinking, oh man, one of them is going to be taking it from the table and taking it over to the sink, and it's going to get broke. And then we're not going to have as many bowls. Well, you guys, I was unloading the dishwasher today. I had two, one in each hand, and I bobbled. This one went forward and I kind of caught it a little bit, but not before it hit the counter, and it shattered everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. So sharing something like that and then asking the question, have you really ever broke something that's important to you? Okay.
If you think about it, everything we do in our daily lives, in our daily, like breaking the bowl, okay? Maybe you had somebody stop by today and you had an amazing conversation with them. Maybe you simply cleaned the house, sharing those things so that others see that you are just a human being and you go through the daily tasks and you have those mishaps like breaking a bowl or whatever, or you had an amazing conversation today with somebody that really touched your heart or something like that. Putting that kind of content out there and asking them a question, have you ever, dropped a bowl? Have you ever had this amazing conversation? How many get sick of cleaning the house? Those kinds of things. People see you as a human being, okay, and they can relate, and they're also going to share. That makes that connection piece. Yes. That is what connects us as human beings, and that will drive that communication deeper and deeper and deeper the more often you're having these. So not just putting content out there, but actually think about how might I engage the person on the other end? How might I engage that friend of mine? Okay, I speak to my friend once a month. How might I engage them once a month? Just like and when you talk to your friend, it's having a laughing conversation. Hey, how's your life? How's these things? How are you doing? Oh my gosh, you dropped the bowl. It's having those kinds of conversations with them. So if you're putting content out that engages your audience just like you would your best friend, that is what's going to work and connect.
Yes. And again, this is about quality over quantity, okay? Something that is quality, just to put the definition out there, is anything that helps alleviate, resolve a pain, problem, or something else that your prospect may be dealing with. And part of you being a human being and just showing like, you have crap days too, but this is what I learned and this is how I got through it. That is quality, because they're looking for a new perspective, a new way to consider things that they're dealing with in their own world, okay? And engagement is anytime anybody watches.
Yes.
Okay, they don't have to heart or like or make a comment. They're still engaging if they're consuming your content. Okay, those are metrics that you can find that are not necessarily front and center.
Exactly.
But it is very important, and most platforms take into consideration, have they watched your video or stayed on your page for seconds, you guys? Okay, so don't get discouraged if you're not seeing anybody commenting or hearting or sharing your content. That's what you want to have happen. But keep in mind that a lot of people are watchers. And they're not engagers until they're ready to do so. Okay?
And it's interesting because the connection is made, so to speak, behind the scenes, like Becky mentioned. It's not necessarily somebody who's going to engage with your content right away. They're going to watch you for a while. They're going to see if you are somebody that they want to connect with, they want to have a relationship with. And it's interesting. We constantly... We're sitting here and sometimes we feel like we're out on an island by ourselves. Okay. That ship is beached. We're out here all by ourselves. And then all of a sudden someone will reach out and go, hey, we've been following you guys for months. This story you shared was amazing. It made me laugh, et cetera, et cetera. And suddenly we have instantly a connection with somebody. And it is a really neat feeling. And a lot of people do watch you from a distance. And they see if you're somebody that they want to connect with before they actually reach out and connect.
Absolutely.
So don't get discouraged if you feel like you're out there on the ship by yourself.
Okay. And you guys, just to leave a couple real quick pro tips for you. If you want engagement, ask for it. Ask for people to share. Ask for people to chime in. Okay. This can be video. It can be written in text. It can be any and all of those things. But this allows your audience to know that you care about them, you value their opinion, and that you're truly curious about what it is that you can do to help them. Okay, so don't be afraid to ask. In fact, you must ask for what it is that you want.
Exactly.
All right, you guys, we appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us again today. Make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming tradings, and we will talk with you next time.
Be curious, be bold, take action, and remember, it is choice, not chance, that shapes